Hey everyone, and welcome to the brand new Claire's Crafty Corner. I am back filming. I can't quite believe it. I'm sitting up here in my new space in my attic, and I am about to start filming today's video, which is going to be this incredible brand new mould from Moulds and Shapes. This is their Apothecary bottle keyring set. Stunning! And I just can't believe I'm back. And yeah, it's been a whole month since I posted. We have been living in the new house now for 1 month and 2 days. And I'm loving it. I am loving it. If you do not follow my home channel, that is At Home with Claire. Head on over there if you want to have a nosy and just see where we live now and see what we've been up to and all of the work that has been done so far. No worries if you're just not into vlogging home channel style videos at all. No worries at all. I'll give you a view, my view from my new crafty corner. Let's go. This is my new view from Claire's Crafty Corner. This is what I get to stare at every time I sit here and make. I can't quite believe it, but it's very beautiful and I cannot wait for all of the colours to change. It is fields beyond our garden. It's fields and oak trees, and we have a weeping willow. We have our own apple tree. If you haven't followed my home channel, you'll know I made an apple pie when we first moved in. I picked all the apples that were edible. We have a gorgeous acer here, just birds galore, and it's just stunning. Yeah, so this is it. You out on a 0.5. This is the view I have now when I create. And the room, I will do a craft room tour. You'll see that either on a previous video or on the next video. I just wanted to say a huge thank you because this is a long break. This is so much of a longer break than I ever anticipated or expected to take, but I don't know why. My expectations were really high. I was just gonna move in, come straight upstairs and start crafting, and it absolutely did not work out like that. If you saw my home tour on my other channel, you'll know that this room was a bedroom, so we had to rip carpets up, paint walls, do all of the things, build all of the furniture, bring everything up before I could even think about. And the fact that we've been here a month and it's taken a while. So thank you so much for waiting for me. I massively appreciate it. I've missed you all so much. I've missed the live chats. I've just missed interactions and just chatting to you all so much. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Sorry I've been gone so long, but I'm back now. Just in time for Halloween crafting. And yeah, let's crack on. This stunning new mould from Moulds and Shapes made my soul do a happy dance when I opened the box. There is a Moulds and Shapes discount for you down below, 10% off. The code and everything you need will be at the top of my description box. They are a gorgeous size as well, perfect for a chunky hunky dunk keyring. These are the measurements, and they're all quite approximate because each bottle has a different width. You can see here, some are narrower than others, some are more rounded, but absolutely beautiful mold. Each and every one has a keyring loop at the top, so again, it could be a bag charm. You could make it into a gorgeous fireplace garland. Like, the possibilities are endless. I am donning my PPE. I've got my gloves on, the mask. I've had a few people ask me lately what mask I use. I use a GVS Ellipse half mask. I got it from Screwfix Direct, and it's amazing. It is amazing. You cannot smell a single thing through it. Okay, let's talk about free printables. I am going to be using my black polyurethane for the first layer. Now you can use your epoxy. It's just purely for speed. I went onto Google and I typed in free printable apothecary labels, or you could type in witch potion bottle labels. There's so many possibilities of things you can type in. Just make sure that it comes up as a free resource. You could also go to Pinterest and you'll find them there as well. So I went on and I Googled until I found exactly what I was looking for, and I printed them off in different shapes and sizes because at the time I just needed to make sure I had the right size for my bottles. Now back to the polyurethane. This is measurable by volume. No, it's not. It's measurable by weight, 1:1, and you mix only for 30 seconds. It cures super fast, so only mix for between 20 and 30 seconds. Mix quite vigorously. You want to mix it really, really fast together. Doesn't really produce that many bubbles, so don't worry too much about that. And then get it poured. Now, if you are new to my channel, this sets in around 15 to 20 minutes, so you are ready to go. And again, it's purely for speed. You can get a lot done in a day if you use the polyurethane. Equally, if you don't want to use polyurethane, I know that I think Let's Resin and Just For You Online also have a super fast curing resin. Just For You Online have a resin that cures in 2 hours, and Let's Resin have a resin that cures in 4 hours. So, I mean, the possibilities, if you're looking for speed, they are out there. Now, I am just hitting them with my lighter. They don't produce a million bubbles like epoxy, but you will often get 1 or 2 bubbles coming to the surface, so using a lighter works in just the same way. Then I'm using a micro brush tool to get rid of all of those inside 90-degree edge bubbles as well. And these are the labels. I don't know why I feel like a kid at Christmas, well, a kid at Halloween. I am so obsessed with imagery, Halloween imagery and apothecary imagery. If you've been with me a few years, you'll know that even as far back as 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was making full-blown apothecary bottles on my channel, actual glass bottles, spraying them black, doing all of the things, and it's one of my favourite things to do. So fast forwarding through the cutting out, because boring, out a whole ton of labels, and I just really had a play around with them. So I just, you can see me here on screen, putting them in the bottles, working out what it was I wanted, how I wanted them to go. And then I realised that I really did want some round labels. So I went back to Google, typed in free images, and I found more, I guess, intricately shaped labels. And I preferred these. That bottom right bottle definitely needed a round label. And this one here really needed something different other than the rectangle. I was happy with my selection, like a combination of pure white, crisp white and black, and also that almost vintagey tea or coffee stained paper. Love that as well. Now here's the thing, there's a multitude of ways to add plain printer paper to your resin, and I've put them on screen. There are probably 100 other ways to do it, but I'm going to use PVA. Now, PVA glue cures, dries clear, and you can resin top coat over the top, and that is what I decided to do. Using sellotape would work, laminating them again would work, but I genuinely didn't have much room left in my molds at this point. Like, I had poured the polyurethane so close to the top, it was barely giving me even 1 millimeter to play with. So I knew if I then went to laminate all of my labels, I don't think I had the space for the lamination, because immediately you've got yourself a thick piece of plastic that I just didn't think I had the space for. So for me, this was the best way forward. Please choose something that is going to work best for you. If I only filled these halfway, then I would have laminated the labels for sure. After sticking down the first label, I'm saturating the paper with the glue, sticking it into the bottle, and then I'm just putting glue over the top of the paper, hoping that that is going to fully resin proof my paper, which it does. There's spoiler alerts all over the place. It worked a dream. But I did think it was a bit neat. I thought that first label just looks a bit too, I guess, too crisp, clean and fresh. And I really wanted my bottles to look oldie worldy, tattered, a little bit frayed. So I did start to crunch up the paper. So each and every label I was scrunching it up in my hand, almost identically to the way I would make my giant life-size bottle, potion bottles. You always want to make the labels look old, tear them a little bit, scrunch them up, and again, this glue will dry clear, so I wasn't worried about anything like that. I just really preferred the look of the labels when they were scrunched, you know, really scrunched up. You'll know if you have tried this technique, it gives the paper a real worn out look, and I was hoping that that would come across in the resin. Now, the one thing I tried really hard not to do was get the PVA glue all the way to the edge. Easier said than done, guys. Easier said than done. Here you can see I went way too close to the edge. What I don't want is I don't want the top coat to come away from the base coat. My worry was that the PVA would create a barrier through which the resin wouldn't stick to the polyurethane resin. So do be careful on that one. Only coat the paper and don't bring the glue all the way to the edge of the silicone mould. I definitely had a bit of a cleanup job to do here. Again, I've never done this before, so I didn't know if the PVA would create a barrier and if my top coat would simply crack off the top because the PVA acts as that barrier in between. Anyway, back to the top coating. I am using the Apex resin from Just For You online to top coat these. It's a beautiful crystal clear resin. And this is what we're looking like. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I was so in love. I am so in love with this kind of Halloween. I cannot express it enough, but hopefully you can hear it in my voice. 24 hours later, it was time to demold. And as per usual, the Molds and Shapes mold demolds like a dream. I definitely have some cleanup to do. The edges on these are not great. I did spill over on some of them. I have a brand new worktop which I thought was perfectly flat, but now I realise it's not. But hey, I mean, I'll have to just make do, I guess, for the rest of my life. But yeah, I definitely have to use my deburring tool along the edges of some of these. I did hang around upstairs and I cleaned up as much as possible with cotton buds and wipes and things like that, just to try. But you can see here on this piece of paper, the structural integrity, go me with my big words, has been compromised on the paper. So when you scrunch the paper up, you are creating gaps and holes and cells through which the glue will seep, and you'll definitely notice a difference in the result, and I love it. If you stick the paper straight on, you just won't get that. You won't get the character and that aged feel. So scrunching the paper definitely creates that, and if that's the way you want to go, then I fully recommend it. Now it was time to decorate. I don't know why I got into such a faff with the decoration. Like, all I had to do was wrap twine around the necks of every single bottle, just as I would if I was spray painting life-size wine bottles or whiskey bottles. You wrap the twine around the neck to give it that kind of apothecary feel, like you're going into this, 17th century apothecary to get yourself some medicine. It's just gonna give them that bit of wow. But I don't know, I was getting myself into such a tiz. I was thinking, do I tie a knot? Do I just wrap it round? The super glue was not super gluing as fast as I needed it to, and in the end I just decided to cut off way more twine than I needed so that I could wrap it around the neck of the bottle with a lot of excess left over, and that would leave me enough to tie knots and do all of the things. Now, I'm not gonna lie, having gloves on was hard. I mean, I really didn't want my gloves on at this point, but equally I did not want a handful of super glue, and I know me. I know I would have stuck myself to myself. So I decided to leave my gloves on, and that, I think, just made everything a little bit harder to tie my little knots and wrap everything around. But equally, you do have to be safe. You don't want to be gluing yourself to the furniture. But this method was so much easier, like leaving yourself a lot more twine than you needed. Now, the twine I have here is simple gardening twine. I got it from Amazon. If you type in gardening twine, is so much cheaper than crafting twine. Honestly, when the word is thrown in there that you're a crafter, double the price. But this is what we're looking like, and I'm absolutely obsessed. I'm so obsessed. And they are messy. They are not neat. I didn't want them to be perfect. I want them to be as aged looking as the labels are. Then it was time to add the key rings. Now, of course, you can do anything with these. If you do get this mold, the world is your oyster. Finish them how you want. This is just how I finished them. I do definitely need to invest in some better quality, stronger key ring attachments. I just feel like whenever I buy a pack of 10 or a pack of 50, they're always just a tad flimsy, a tad poor quality. So if anyone out here uses super solid key rings, please let me know where you get them from, and I will definitely invest. Next up, we have the tassels. Now the tassels, again, they're so simple to make. I've just wrapped some faux leather brown cord around some cardboard, and again, I have done this so many times and I don't know why I'm making this look so messy and so confusing. I don't know if it's because I've been away for weeks now and I've forgotten how to do things. I've forgotten how to film, get things in the middle of the camera. Like, anyway, if anyone has ever made these kind of tassel-y pom-pom things, you wrap some twine or string or whatever you want around some card, you cut the bottom, then you tie the center off so that it's all tied together. And then I wrapped some twine around the top. I held all of the top together, wrapped some twine around it. It's almost like witch's broomstick. If you were going to make a witch's broomstick, you would put all of your twigs together and wrap them all together at the top using twine. And this is what we've ended up with. And oh my goodness me, here is the result. I made a combination, the faux brown leather rope. Honestly, it's lovely, it's gorgeous, it's got a lovely aesthetic, but it's not that strong. It's not that strong. Every time I went to tie a knot, it was just snapping on me. So I changed it out and I used the twine to wrap around the top of the faux leather cord. It just worked so much better. And of course the twine, I can't snap that with my bare hands. So I think I preferred using the twine for strength and the faux leather cord just for the aesthetic and the prettiness. And ooh, I absolutely love these. Could you wrap twine around the bottom of the bottles too? Absolutely. You can do what you want with the items that you have on hand at the time. These are just the items I had. Guys, I'm obsessed. Thank you so much if you've stayed to the end and watched all the way through. You don't know how much I appreciate you. And if you've been in my live chat, thank you all so much as well. I appreciate your time. Thank you for letting me take this break and getting my new craft room back up and running. Just massive thank you. I could say thank you for the next month, but I appreciate you all very much. If you have enjoyed this, please do give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment and do all of the things. Subscribe, hit the bell because you want to be here. I know you do. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.